It's been 3 weeks since the street riot outside Calgary's City Hall, where a mob of pro-Palestinian men beat up a group of Jews so badly, 6 were sent to the hospital. There were no police there during the riot, even though it was right downtown, where there are normally dozens of police just routinely coming and going. The cops did nothing. But they didn't just do nothing on July 18th. They did nothing on July 19th and 20th and 21st, and every one of the 21 days since the riot. No charges laid. Not even a call to the public to help identify the rioters, despite dozens of very clear photographs of the rioters' faces mid-riot. Here, take a look. In the past 3 weeks, the Calgary police have asked for help in identifying suspects in an assault. Here's the police Twitter page, and here's their Facebook page describing the same assault. It sounds serious, although the victim was able to break free and run away. So it wasn't as serious as the riot that sent a whole family to the hospital. But it was serious enough for the police to tweet and Facebook a call to the public to identify the suspects. But so far, nothing on the riot. Why's that? Here's another very important police effort to crack down on vehicles with noisy mufflers in Calgary. Look at that press conference there. All the media in town were called to help combat this scourge in Calgary, noisy mufflers. I mean, those could really hurt your eardrums, right? And not hurt you enough to send you to the hospital like a mob of dozens of men screaming death to the Jews and pounding you to the ground. But still, I mean, who doesn't like to sleep in on the weekends? Calgary's police chief has you covered for noise. No press conference on the riot, though. Well, how about Calgary's mayor, Naheed Nenshi? His specialty is tweeting pictures of lost pets. Here's a montage of some of the missing cats and dogs he's tweeted about over the past few days alone. Aren't they cute? Oh, that mayor. He really cares. I mean, he really cares about his community. He's not afraid to take on the tough issues like finding lost cats and dogs. Now, riots right outside of his office? Yeah, not so much. I wonder if it has anything to do with the fact that Nenshi rubs shoulders at political events with the woman who organized the big anti-Israel protest that degenerated into the riot, Saima Jamal. There they are together. Nenshi did make a perfunctory, vague comment on a blog a few weeks ago against unspecified violence. It was pitiful, apart from an obscure blog entry that only mentioned vaguely what happened, not mentioning a riot, not mentioning the anti-Semitic political nature of it, or the fact that it was accompanied by chants of death to the Jews. Nenshi wouldn't want to upset his voting base, would he? Jamal is also a friend of the Liberals, just like Nenshi is, and Nenshi's chief of staff, who is set to run for the Liberal Party. There's Jamal with Justin Trudeau, naturally. I wonder if the fact that the anti-Israel protest organizer is so chummy with Nenshi is the reason that Nenshi hasn't spoken out against the violence and anti-Semitism at her event with any force. So you've got the police and the mayor doing everything they can to ignore the riot at City Hall. They'll talk about anything else, noisy mufflers, a criminal assault that almost hurt a guy but he got away, and all those cute pets. That's not what Calgarians care about. 900 Calgarians came to our rally last Thursday. I probably spoke to more than 100 of them one-on-one. And though most of them just came to stand with Israel, a great number of them were motivated, they told me, because they were shocked by how little the mayor and police chief cared about the rule of law. They share my theory that Nenshi simply doesn't want to offend his voter base, the 100,000 Muslims in Calgary, that includes the violent rump we saw trying to turn Calgary into a little piece of Gaza. I won't really call Nenshi a coward, though I think he is. I think I'll call him more someone who has done the political math. He'd rather have the votes of the Jew haters than of the Jews. He's not a Jew hater himself. He just knows how to count. And he knows who his voter base is. Calgary's police chief, Rick Hansen, is a coward. His first response was to lie about the riot. The day after it happened, his office issued this statement where he actually claimed, and I quote, "The Calgary Police Service was prepared and responded immediately. We also called in additional officers to ensure the safety of everyone involved. We responded with a balanced and measured approach." Well, every word of that is a lie. What, you don't think police chiefs ever lie? What's the difference between a police chief and any other politician? Other than you can vote out a lying mayor, but you can't vote out a lying police chief. Do you see the police responding immediately here at the riot? No, you don't. Chief Rick Hansen is a liar. Hansen later admitted the obvious, that he screwed up by not having police at the massive angry riot in front of City Hall. Yeah, thanks for admitting the obvious, buddy. But he continues to avoid the issue, again, for obvious political reasons. It's easier to ignore it. I mean, who's easier to control? A mob of hundreds of screaming Arabs calling for death to the Jews, and 50 Arabs trying to make that chant come true, perhaps, or a small group of Jews who don't want to make a fuss and really wouldn't hurt a fly. Was it an accident that Chief Hansen didn't deploy police to the 50-minute protest outside City Hall? Or was it a political choice by a political chief who works for a political mayor? Just like it was a choice for the police not to do anything when a small group of Arabs started chanting Heil Hitler outside my rally last Thursday. I showed you the video clip this week.
This is Canada. I don't care about Hezbollah. Your
Now, I'm not for criminalizing hate speech, by the way. I don't think it should be a crime to say the words Heil Hitler, even to shout it at Jews. It shouldn't be a crime to be racist neo-Nazis like them. But that's just my personal opinion. According to the law, Section 319 of the Criminal Code, it is a crime to spread hatred against an identifiable group. Of course, the Alberta Human Rights Commission believes that too. They prosecuted me for 900 days for simply publishing the Danish cartoons of Mohammed in a news story. But like I say, they're cowards. Alberta's Human Rights Commission charged me with hate speech for publishing some cartoons because they know I'm not going to riot or bring 100 friends of mine and start beating families up on the street. They know I'm not going to suicide bomb anybody, so I'm easy pickings. But actually enforcing the law against thugs who rioted 3 weeks ago, or the Heil Hitler chanters, no way. I mean, there's a cowardice epidemic out there. We saw it with all the media, too. They all saw and heard those chants of Heil Hitler, and yet none of them reported it. Global TV and CTV both interviewed the Heil Hitler Arabs there, but they only quoted them as saying sweet things about caring for the children of Gaza. The media party are cowards, too. So what are we going to do about this? We're at 3 weeks, and the two politicians, Hansen and Nenshi, are just hoping this will all go away. Now, you know we hired a criminal lawyer for the victims. You'll remember that. Rebecca Snookal, one of the top criminal lawyers in Calgary. And the reason we did that is because she has a good working relationship with the city police. And the hope was that she would help navigate the world of police to stimulate real police, not the politically correct chief, but actual beat cops who investigate crimes and go out on the street, not the fancy chief who's more at home at cocktail parties drinking champagne with the mayor. I haven't given up on real beat cops, by the way. I said this at our rally last Thursday, too. I mean, no one enrolls in the police academy so they can not enforce the law for politically correct reasons. You have to be a special kind of stupid to think that way, a stupid that only comes when you transform yourself from a policeman to a police politician like the chief. But it has been 3 weeks. 3 weeks with no charges and no call for the public to even identify the rioters. I haven't given up on the beat cops, the real cops who surely despised the stupid orders to stand down in the face of the riot. The real cops who came to my rally last Thursday in full force to protect us against any rioters then, even though only the Heil Hitler shouters were there. I haven't given up on the lawyer we hired for the victim's family. But neither am I patient with things, so I have an idea to help. Oh, and by the way, the idea involves you. I hope you don't mind. After the break, I'm going to announce my new project, and it relies 100% on you. It's called riotstoppers.com. It's based on the Crime Stoppers model, but we're all about hunting rioters. Don't go away. After the break, I'll show you how we're going to find these criminals together. So, Riot Stoppers, what do you think? It's not related to Crime Stoppers, but it's inspired by them, and it has a very simple mission: to help catch the rioters when the police can't, or in this case, when their police chief simply chooses not to. Now, I have no special resources. Unlike Calgary's police, I do not have the power of the state behind me. I don't have the authority of a policeman's badge. I can't go to court to get a search warrant. I don't have hundreds of people and millions of dollars of resources to track down criminals. But that's what's so lame here. I don't actually need that power because we already have countless photos and videos of the riots. We've shown plenty of it to you. It's on YouTube, for crying out loud. So here's what we've done. It's so basic, I'm not even going to call it police work. We've gone through some of the videos and pictures of the riot and really looked through it. Zooming in on the faces of the rioters, we've identified 6 rioters who we can clearly see hitting, kicking, or stomping on people. I'm going to go through those 6 suspects now and ask for your help to find them. I'm going to show you these 6 thugs. We're going to do that now. But then at your leisure, you can review the videotape on our new website, riotstoppers.com. You can look at these thugs slowly and carefully, and if you know who they are, if you can identify them, you can contact us confidentially through the website. We guarantee that your identity will remain a secret. And if you identify these suspects on our website, riotstoppers.com, you will receive 2 rewards, just like Crime Stoppers gives you. The first reward is the biggest, of course. It's the satisfaction that you helped identify criminal suspects. The second reward is more tangible. We will pay you $500 per name. That's a great incentive to do the kind of police work that Calgary's police chief won't. See, I think these folks will be easy to find. I think they're probably members of pro-Hamas or pro-Palestinian Facebook groups or student clubs. I bet this wasn't their first mob, and I don't think it'll be their last. I bet a lot of people actually know who these guys are. So look through Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Maybe you know them from school or from work. You can contact us secretly. We will never reveal your identity. You'll just help us stop the riots, and you'll get some spending money too. All right, here we go. Let's start with the thugs who punched and kicked Jeff Willerton. You'll remember him. He's the non-Jewish pro-Israel guy who brought an Israeli flag to City Hall. The pro-Hamas thugs ripped it out of their hands and stomped on it. I wouldn't call that rioting. I'd call that theft and mischief. But when Willerton went to get his flag back, then he was punched and kicked and knocked to the ground. So let's look at that slowly, okay? There's a guy who looks like a painter. He's wearing jeans that look like they have paint on them, and his white t-shirt has the word Deluxe written on the back, which is a brand of paint. He's got a goatee beard on him, so let's call him Goat Painter. Look at Goat Painter rush over, grab Willerton's flag. When Willerton tries to get it back, Goat Painter punches and knocks him to the ground. In a way, Goat Painter started this whole riot because when he punched Willerton and knocked him down and there was no police response, the rest of the mob learned a lesson. Under Police Chief Rick Hansen, you can act like you're in Gaza and no one will stop you. Go to riotstoppers.com, tell me the real name of Goat Painter, and I will send you $500. Now, you'll notice another guy rushed up and appears to bravely kick Willerton when he was knocked to the ground. This bald guy comes across as an organizer or some other sort of leader in other video clips. I'm going to call him Kojak for older viewers, or Breaking Bad for our younger viewers. So Breaking Bad starts off by saying, he's not against Jews. He actually says this twice. Look.
We're not against the Jews. We're not. They're our cousins. We're not against the Jews.
Yeah, he's not against Jews, and then he stomps on someone holding a Jewish flag. I know. I'm shocked, too, by the fact that a violent rioter would also lie to you. Well, lying isn't a crime, but violence is. Here, let's look at Breaking Bad in action, showing how much he loves Jews and Christians in Canada. So that's just him ripping up an Israeli flag, but look at this video. It appears to me that Breaking Bad is giving Jeff Willerton the boot while Willerton's on the ground. Nice guy, eh? Let's call him Breaking Bad. He's on the riotstoppers.com website. Tell me who he is, and I'll pay you $500, and I'll keep your identity confidential. Okay, remember how the riot went? The pro-Israel people saw this violence, so they retreated across the other side of the city street to get away from the violence, because it's not like the police were doing anything. The police weren't even there. But the rioters followed them across the street. So here's a brave Hamas supporter who thought he'd bring a little bit of Gaza to Canada, and he starts pounding on some Jewish women. Seriously. Look at him. Let's slow this down here. I was going to call, that's the woman, one of the women who were beat up. And the guy I'm talking about now is in the gray shirt. You're going to see him right there. You see that guy in the gray shirt there? Now, I was going to call him Funny Sex Face or Stephen Hawking or something like that because of his facial contortions there. But I'll go with Lady Killer. Okay, well, he didn't kill anyone. Let's just call him Lady Puncher. Can you please help me identify this suspect? Do you know the real name of Lady Puncher? Does he work at your company? Do you go to school with him? Is he a Facebook friend or a friend of a friend? If you can tell me who Lady Puncher is, I'll keep your name secret and I'll pay you $500. Go to riotstoppers.com. Okay, let's move on. We got 3 more rioters I want to show you. Here's one guy whose specialty is stomping on people, kicking them, including, it appears to me, women. These Hamas supporters are pretty brave, aren't they? Dozens of them swarming innocent women, attacking them so badly they were sent to hospital. Here, let's slow down, take a look at the guy I'm referring to. There he is, the guy in the teal shirt jumping and kicking. I'm going to call him a river dance. What a little thug. And he's getting away with it, isn't he? No charges. Will you help me find this suspect? Go to riotstoppers.com and tell me who he is. I'll pay you $500. Okay, here's another guy, the guy in the purple shirt. Let's call him Barney, if Barney the dinosaur was a thug. Let's look at Barney in slow motion. There he is. Barney goes after Jake Burrell, the kid we interviewed. He's the one who started using Jake's Israeli flag around his neck as a noose. What a thug. If you know this suspect's real name, tell me his name, and I'll pay you $500. One more guy. The guy in the sunglasses, you saw him there also. Let's call him Escobar. If Pablo Escobar was a pro-Hamas bully. There he is. You see him in the sunglasses and the white shirt with the backpack. You see him pulling there. Like Barney, Escobar wants to tug that flag around Jack's neck like it's a noose. I mean, imagine how exciting it would be to actually hang a real-life Jew. Here, let's watch that again in slow motion. Take a look. They don't have any Jews in Gaza to hang, but they do in Calgary. Imagine the thrill Escobar is feeling putting that flag around the neck of a Jew. These are just a few of the videos and still photos that were immediately available to the public and to the police after the riots. The main YouTube video we used here was uploaded by someone named Mohammed on July 19th. It's already August 8th today. Now, that's just what's publicly available. That's not even what the police could do if they applied for search warrants or actually demanded from the mayor's friend, Saima Jamal, the organizer of the protest, the names of the rioters in question. The police haven't laid any charges yet. So it's time for real citizens to do the job that Calgary's cowardly lion, Chief Rick Hansen, and his boss, Naheed Nenshi, won't do. Let's do some police work. This is perfect for people who like to poke around on the internet. I bet these guys are all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I bet a few hours of sleuthing could find them. Or hopefully, someone who sees tonight's show and says, I know that guy, and at work he seems nice, but I just can't accept his rioting, and even more, I can't accept him getting away with it, especially Lady Puncher. Please go to riotstoppers.com and examine these videos and pictures closely. One last thing. I promised to pay you the rewards, and you know I keep my promises. We paid for the victims to hire a lawyer. We paid to hire a lawyer in Nanaimo, too. We've paid for other things together, you and I. As always, though, I need help to cover the $3,000 in reward money that I am offering to catch these creeps. I'll obviously chip in the first $100 as I always do. If you want to help me to catch a rioter, can you please go to riotstoppers.com and click on our PayPal button to help me to cover the other $2,900. Thanks very much. I appreciate that. Now, let me close with something so obvious. I'm not sure if I even need to say it, but I will anyways. One of the reasons I love Canada is the rule of law. That is, the law is applied evenly to everyone. No one is above the law, no one is below the law. Politics don't matter. Being politically connected to the mayor doesn't matter. The police chief's political correctness doesn't matter. It's why we love the police in Canada. It's why the Mountie is one of our national symbols. I don't doubt that the rank-and-file police were appalled at their orders to stand down from the July 18th riot. I don't doubt real police are scandalized at the double standards their chief is applying to these racists in the street who chant Heil Hitler and kill the Jews. There's a temptation not to criticize the police in Canada because we know they're the good guys. But their police chief is leading them in the wrong direction, away from being neutral law enforcers and towards being political and partisan, and that is unacceptable. I am not done yet with Calgary's mayor and police chief, but we'll deal with those politicians later. Tonight is about catching the rioters. Can you go to riotstoppers.com? If you know these 6 thugs, help me catch them, and I'll pay you $500 each. If you want to join me in putting together that Riot Stoppers fund, please chip in on the PayPal button at the website too. Thanks, everybody. Now let's go do what Chief Hansen and Mayor Nenshi won't do.